Hello, my name is Norma Sanchez, and I am doing this video on a 24-hour diet recall for my nutrition class at APU. Um, as I was interviewing my client, I did collect all the information and gave her time to recall any forgotten information as well, because there were a few items she did forget to mention. So as I collected her information and I was thinking about the nutrient dense foods that my client had eaten. I, in particular, picked the clams and the shrimp as being the most nutrient dense foods in that 24-hour period. I picked the shrimp and the clams because I think they're high in nutrients. And there wasn't much protein that she had consumed that day. So I just took an educated guess and picked the clams and the shrimp. Again, so, and thinking about her non-nutrient dense foods, I chose the Cheerios, only because I feel that, cereals are high in carbs. I don't know if I was right, so I just took an educated guess. My educated guess on how many calories my client had consumed in a 24-hour period, and not including the breakfast from the next day, because it was actually 2 hours past the 24-hour period from the day before. I figured she had consumed about 1,500 calories. So again, this is just an educated guess for me on what she had consumed. So, and reflecting back on what she had eaten, it kind of surprised me because there was quite a few things that she was lacking. As I entered the information on the database of MyFitnessPal, her daily calories consumed were 1,316. Her daily goal was 2,110. So she actually was short, which really did surprise me. Her carb intake was 120. Her daily goal was 264. And so again, she was short. Fat intake was 63. Her daily goal was 70, was also short. She fell short on everything. Sodium was 1,975. Daily goal was 2,300, so that was low. Protein 64 she had consumed. It should have been 106. So again, short. And her sugar intake was 26, and her daily goal was 79. So that again she also fell short. I was surprised by the overall results. I wasn't surprised by the amount of calories, which was kind of neat because I kind of got it close. I chose 1,500. She was in the 1,300 category that she had eaten, so I wasn't too far off, a little bit less than 200. I was correct about the shrimp and clams being nutrient dense. 1 ounce of clams have 178 milligrams of potassium, 10% of vitamin C, 2% calcium, and 4% iron, which is amazing. Never would have thought that to be the case. Also very surprising was the avocado. It's very nutrient dense. It has 481 milligrams of potassium, 7 grams of fiber, 16%, 7 grams of fiber, 16% vitamin C, and 1% calcium, 3% iron. My client did not meet the necessary daily goals totals. For example, like I stated, potassium total was 1,314 in her micronutrients, so she was low on that. Her daily goal is 3,500, and she was short about 2,186. Her iron total was also 44%. Her daily goal should be at 100%. She was short by 56%. My client went, like I stated, she was under her calorie intake. Her calorie intake was 1,358. Her daily goal is 2,110, as stated before. So she had 752 calories remaining. My client also fell short on her carbs, her fat, her protein, her sodium, her sugar intake. For example, her total sodium intake was 1,975 milligrams. Her daily goal is 2,300 milligrams. She had 325 milligrams of sodium remaining. Her total sugar intake was 26 grams. Her daily goal is 79. So she had 53 grams remaining. There were several micronutrients, as stated before. Lacking was the potassium intake. Her total was 1,136. Her daily goal is 3,500. So remaining was 2,364 milligrams. Also, her calcium intake is 27%. Daily goal is at 100%. She lacks about 73% of calcium intake. According to the Health and Human Services and National Institute of Health on potassium, my client needs to increase her potassium intake. Potassium levels usually range between 3.6 to 5.0 millimole per liter. We all know, as nurses, most potassium is intracellular and a small amount extracellular. We all know that certain symptoms can affect potassium levels, such as diarrhea, vomiting, and kidney disease. But since my client had none of these, she's still not getting, enough potassium intake. So I would recommend her to increase her intake on potatoes, legumes, yogurt, nuts, apricots, and prunes also have high potassium levels and fiber, which she's also lacking. We all know that, she can develop hypokalemia, which can cause weakness, fatigue, muscle cramps, possible palpitations. Would definitely recommend her in reviewing the National Osteoporosis Foundation on calcium. It's essential for our bones and it's needed for blood clotting factors. Our body does not naturally produce calcium. So we need to get calcium from our foods. So it's important that you get enough. My client is over the age of 50, so she's lacking 73% of her daily calcium intake. And because because she is over 50, our bones tend to start to get more brittle. And her daily recommended intake is 1,200 milligrams. So she's really low on it. So I would recommend her to increase her yogurt intake, which also contains potassium. I would recommend her to have almond, soy milk, dark leafy vegetables, dried peas, dark green leafy vegetables, cereals, actually calcium fortified cereals. And I was actually amazed to find out that cooked bok choy is also very high in calcium. If my client can become hypocalcemic, it can cause paresthesia, muscle spasms, cramps, which are very similar to those of hypokalemia. And anyways, it really concerned me because, this is a very close friend of mine. Also, her iron intake, I was based on the Harvard Health, published at the Harvard Medical School. They recommend her intake be a lot higher because it can cause iron deficiency based on their iron deficiency study. 1 to 2% of American adults suffer from it. So I would recommend her to increase her intake of, again, fortified cold breakfast cereals, about 3 ounces, increase her oyster intake, cooked soybeans, spinach, boiled and drained about a cup per day, turkey even, 4 ounces, because low iron can cause extreme fatigue, weakness, palpitations, very similar to those of being hypocalcemic and hypokalemic. I learned a lot from this 24-hour diet recall, learning about the differences and the different foods available out there for us that are very nutrient dense. I can't wait to do it on myself. And I did learn a lot. Thank you.